Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here on Talk Daily. Hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world, and let's get right to it. We're going to be talking about the Corvette. Man, this is a beautiful machine. If you don't know what a Corvette is, I'm pretty sure you do know, so it doesn't require any introduction. It's a Corvette made by GM, and they're going to basically put an electric motor in it. Eventually, it's going to be all electric, but it's going through the transition state right now, and it's being official. Has been tweeted by GM. Before I go any further, this article comes from Car and Drive and written by Joey Caparella. As always, I always encourage everybody to go ahead and check it out, read the article for yourself. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on Car and Driver. It's fantastic. I love Car and Driver. Anyways, moving along, this is the tweet that came from Chevrolet on April 25th of 2022. It says, braking and electrified Corvette will be available as early as next year, and fully electric version to follow. Stay tuned for more. It's obviously no surprise to anybody who is, been watching my channel or just keeping up with cars that electrification is the way to go. Remember the deadline? By now, we've been repeating it over and over. 2030. That is the cusp of the hill. 2030. If you're not electrified by 2030, you're old news. Supposedly, and 2025 is like the primary, like the initial step, and 2030 is like, this is it. By 2025 you should have a lot of things electrified. By 2030, mostly everything should be electrified. That's the theory. I have a video about that, discussing the theory and the politics behind it, but let's get back to the subject. So basically, I'm just going to read the gist of the story. GM kind of confirmed that there will be an electric version of the Corvette coming soon. A hybrid powertrain will be added next year, and a battery powered model will follow. So they're going to put some batteries, and they're going to do a hybrid version. The EV model will use GM lithium battery platform, and it could be called the E-Ray. I'll emphasize on that. It will be called the E-Ray because GM already patented that name, E-Ray. So what's going on? Why they're doing this? Obviously, because just to compete with all the competition out there. Electric Corvette will use GM lithium battery platform. When they're speculating that Chevy trademarked the name E-Ray, as I mentioned, use some sort of electrified Corvette motor. They're guessing that a prototype. I can find a video. I'll talk about some video, but for the life of me, I can find it. Long story short, it's going to have a 670 horsepower, 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8. That's a Corvette Z06. And the hybrid model is rumored to offer about 1,000 horsepower twin turbo version of that engine combined with electric motor powering the front wheels. They're not sure if it's the front wheel is going to be capable of propelling the car by itself on just electrical power. We don't know about that one yet, but that means it's going to have all-wheel drive. This is a fantastic engine. They're saying the Corvette Z06 is going to have 670 horsepower, 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8. That's the stuff you find on Ferrari. That's the... I don't know if you know muscle cars, usually have the plus crank, and that makes that rumble, the distinctive boom, 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 boom. That's basically, it's not a flat crank. Flat crank V8, those are the things you hear like in a Ferrari. You hear that high-pitched noise. They're far more efficient. They do suffer from secondary vibration, the crank, but I don't want to go on too far into the, you can Google the flat plane crank V8. I can make a video about that, but long story short, that's high-end stuff, okay? That's more efficient. It allows the headers, the scavenging effect of the headers to be more efficient. It's just a more efficient design, and it's what you want in a high-end vehicle. Moving along, so 1,000 horsepower is going to have some kind of all-wheel drive version, and they're speculating the battery is going to be in the center. We don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know yet how it's going to be, but for sure it's going to have that electrical version, a hybrid version. So another article also by a Car and Driver, and they're talking about this by Rich Kepos. Again, I'll have a link to all these in the description below. He is basically talking about why they're electrifying it. And I do like this picture. When we go back to this article, you see this picture of the car. This is the Z06. They're testing it. Obviously, it's camouflage. It has a lot of camo. But it makes sense. Definitely when they designed this car, they designed it with the intent they could have some kind of a hybrid powertrain. It has a mid-engine. The front is kind of, at this point, there's some space. When they engineer the vehicle, they're not just one day saying, oh, we're going to make it hybrid. They definitely, from the get-go, when they made it, They were thinking, okay, we're gonna do a hybrid, and how we're gonna do a hybrid, and where we gonna lay the components for the hybrid, where we're gonna put the battery, electric motor, all the stuff been sorted out. The argument of why I personally think that but you know, they're mentioning it's because they're competing with Porsche and Lamborghini. I just think that Corvette is just a fantastic car. It's such a, as I said, a giant killer. It's a great statement right there. It really truly is. Truly is a giant killer. It's a very fast car. It's cheaper, very quick. Everybody, I mean, it's raced in look at every event. You find a Corvette being raced. So there you go. They're talking about the engine. See, there's a lot of speculation about the engine. The C8, the base C8 has 490 horsepower, 6.2 liter LT2 small block pushrod V8. Now, this doesn't have a flat crank V8. So they're saying that might add some hybridization to it somehow. I don't know. For the C8, that might add some hybridization to it. That makes some hybrid. We don't know yet. So it's being left at that. For sure. And I'm gonna quote. I'm just gonna read from here, but for sure, it's gonna have at some point the Corvette is just gonna be fully electric. That is just gonna happen. When asked when the full EV C8 will arrive, that's Roast, the spokesman for Corvette, he sidestepped the question, essentially saying somewhere down the road. We believe that converting the C8 to a full electric propulsion will require a massive redesign of the car aft of the seat. There's a vast difference in propulsion system between the internal combustion C8 and the EV model. So it's coming, but maybe not this life cycle of this chassis. But a hybrid is for sure coming. So I don't know, more as I find more about it, I'll make another video. But for now, just, hey, this is the news. A Corvette will be available as early next year in fully electric version to follow. It's going to be hybrid, and it's going to have some fully electric version to follow. And we're talking about 2023, so that's next year. Let me know what you think in the comments below, as always. And I'm kind of excited. I'm glad that Corvette is stepping up. You know, they're keeping up with the times, and it's always a great value for the money of Corvette. It's I love Corvettes. They're fantastic. They truly are. I mean, I don't know if you ever get a chance to drive one or be inside of one. It's a really intimidating machine. The day I drove one, I remember it's so fast, it's so powerful. It's even a base model, you are just reminded that this machine it is designed. The level of its design is so high. When you're driving it, you realize that you are the weak link in that car. You need to learn how to drive. You go back to school again and learn how to drive. It's fantastic car. Yeah, so I'm really excited about the new one, how it's going to look like. It's probably going to be in the next auto show, you know, for sure. I mean, this is hopefully in the next LA auto show. Maybe they'll reveal it, you know, because 2023, we're talking about the auto show is coming up this year. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Again, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, as always, in the comments below, and have a great day wherever you are in the world, and take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.